Hi, I'm Pam, and I'm here to talk about video games. One of my favorite games of all time is The Secret of Monkey Island, so I was very excited earlier this year when a sequel was announced, especially when I found out that it was being made by Dave Grossman and Ron Gilbert, the creators of the original. Here are my thoughts on Return to Monkey Island.
The game opens with a familiar scenario. At least it's familiar if you've played Monkey Island 2. Young Guybrush and Chucky emerge from a small room to an awaiting couple of adults. But a bit of a retcon happens. These are not their parents. These are not even the real Guybrush and LeChuck. Instead, we're playing as the son of Guybrush and Elaine, and his friend. They run around town a bit, giving the player a little introduction to things before finding the real Guybrush, who settles in and prepares to tell a tale of how he found the secret of Monkey Island. Cut to that wonderful title screen. A shot of Melee Island, the lookout burning brightly up top. It's so familiar, but also different, highlighting the new art style and updated musical theme. Just like in the original some 30 years ago, Guybrush Threepwood talks to the lookout to get a lay of the land. He tells him he's here seeking adventure and to finally learn that secret before descending into the town. But things aren't quite as he remembered. There are new pirate leaders who aren't at all willing to help Guybrush get his own ship, and it turns out his best chance of getting to Monkey Island is to find a way to join the crew of his longtime nemesis, LeChuck. Not an ideal situation, and of course, it won't be simple.
As soon as I got to Melee Island, I began to comfortably settle into the game. It had so many things that I loved from the originals, but also had some really nice updates.
The UI is very clean. There's a cogwheel for settings up in the top right, and an icon for your inventory in the bottom left. You interact with the world by hovering your mouse over something, which gives you a very brief indication of how Guybrush reacts to it, then can left-click to look at it, and sometimes right-click for more hands-on interaction. The puzzles here are mainly inventory object puzzles. You'll be picking up everything you can get your hands on and using those items to solve the problems in front of you. Inventory can get a little overwhelming around Act 4, but there's not too much of combining things. I found the puzzles, for the most part, made sense. There's not too much moon logic here, and solutions are telegraphed if you pay attention to all the dialogue. There was really only one solution which I felt went right over my head because I wasn't observing things properly. If you do get stuck, you find a hint book very early on which you can reference as needed. The hints are specific to each problem and are incremental, at first just nudging you in the right direction before becoming more explicit. A few puzzles broke out from the standard and involved more dialogue. One long and winding one where you need to learn how to tell a properly exaggerated fish story was particularly amusing. In addition to the hint book, this game also includes a to-do list, which is just perfect. Often, adventure games can leave you a little in the dark, stumbling around to find what your goal even is, and this keeps you on track. It also gives you a reminder if you take a few days off from playing. Guybrush's movement speed as he explores the world is also quick and can be made even quicker by double-clicking where you want to go. The process of playing is just incredibly smooth and free from frustration.
But of course, when it comes to point-and-click adventures, it's mostly about the story, the characters, the writing. How are all of these things?
They're all great. As expected, the dialogue and descriptions are witty, the situations you find yourself in are amusing and often ridiculous. The sillier aspects of the game, like having to find a sacred mop tree to build your own mop, are balanced by some heartfelt scenes between Guybrush and his wife Elaine. I really enjoy that while she's present for the whole story, she's mostly off doing her own thing, trying to educate pirates about the dangers of scurvy and the amazing power of citrus. Along with reintroducing familiar characters like Carla, the swordsmaster and now governor, there are many new characters to get to know as well. A locksmith on Melee Island can help you out in obvious and not so obvious ways. The Queen of Bermuda provides some new trials for you to overcome. Many aspects of the game take something familiar and then twist them a little bit. Insult sword fighting is still around, but the rules have changed. The new pirate leaders are more bloodthirsty than the old ones, and are also accompanied by a rocking new version of the Scumbar theme, which I could not get enough of. The voice acting is all great, bringing the characters to life. Dominic Armato as Guybrush is perfect, as usual, and is the voice you'll be hearing the most.
He's an evil zombie ghost pirate, terror of the seas, and sometimes the land. A nefarious, conniving, murdering scallywag. A depraved, ruthless villain. And a loud talker. And I'm not those things.
But everyone else does a fantastic job as well, being perfectly intimidating, sweet, nerdy, confused, or drunk, depending on who we're talking about.
The art style of this new game was very controversial when it was first announced, with entitled fans throwing fits over the changes. But I think it works.
Honestly, at first it wasn't my favorite, but I came to appreciate it. I think the environments are all quite beautiful. They're somewhat abstract and make great use of color. Some of the characters' faces do look a little odd to me, but overall I really like the design. The Monkey Island series has had a number of different art styles over the years, and I think this one works. There was also some creative use of close-ups and animations that wouldn't have been possible with pixel art that really add to things. There are a lot of different environments this time around, not just the jungles of Monkey Island and the perpetual night of Melee, but also a number of underwater scenes, the spooky Terror Island, the frozen Bermuda, and a number of different ships you visit. Traveling between all these places does mean a fair amount of backtracking, but it's all done quickly with overworld maps that make getting exactly where you want to be easy.
Return to Monkey Island is a great experience for fans of the original series, except for those art whiners, but what about new players? Is there a reason for them to play?
From the start menu, there's a scrapbook that will give you an overview of what happened in the previous games. Though brief, it at least familiarizes people with the characters and places. There are a ton of references and callbacks though, many of which will likely go over the heads of any newcomers. This is a game that is constantly looking back. The framing is Guybrush telling a story about the past, and even within that story, he often comments on adventures even further back. But even if you don't get all the references, if this is your type of humor and you like point-and-click adventures, there will be a lot of fun to be had here. Bringing something back after so many years is always a risk. Yes, you have a built-in fan base, but are you giving them what they want? Many people don't like change and feel entitled to a property as a whole, as evidenced by the reaction to the new art direction. But if you stay too entrenched in the past, you're not likely to pick up any new players or make new fans, or even have the work be creatively fulfilling. I think Return to Monkey Island strikes a good balance. It looks to the past, but also comments on it, and isn't afraid to change some things. There's a wistfulness here, a feeling that the creators look back fondly on those first couple games, but as their lives have changed, so have the stories they want to tell. As I wrapped up the game, I had the same feeling. I was happy, satisfied with the experience I just had, but also a little melancholy. I honestly wasn't expecting the final scenes of the game to have as much of an impact on me as they did.
Return to Monkey Island is how you make a comeback. It's a solid adventure game with good puzzles and funny dialogue. It captures the magic of the originals while adding some new quality of life changes and introducing us to fun new characters and situations. I really had a fantastic time with it. The game overall took me about 8 hours to complete, and it's currently available for PC and Switch.
If you want to see more, check out my review of the original The Secret of Monkey Island, or another of my videos. I have a Patreon if you want to support the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.